So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this month's edition of Métis Coffee Talk for this Thursday, January 26th, 2023. So we haven't had a New Year wish yet, so Happy New Year to everyone, even though it's the end of January. And welcome to this monthly edition of Métis Coffee Talk, hosted by myself, Keith Henry, President of the BC Métis Federation. And of course, we're always welcoming new members and partners and everyone that's watching online. So tonight we've got quite a number of items to talk about since we've last connected in December, right before Christmas. And I've got a lot of guests with me this evening. So I'm going to just go around and welcome everyone for this evening and just introduce themselves and where they're from and where they're joining us from and a little bit about themselves if they want. So Joe, we're going to start with you. Where are you sitting this fine evening?
Thanks, Keith. I'm sitting in North Vancouver in a house, and I'm glad to be here with all of you folks. The Director of Research at the BC Métis Federation, and I'm looking forward to some fiddle music and interesting conversation today. So thanks, Keith.
That's great. Well, good thing you're sitting in a house, Joe, and not on somewhere else. All right, we're going to go to our vice president and his backup band. They're all the way up in northwest BC. Where are you at tonight, Renee?
We're in Terrace. We're in our Métis office, Skeena River Métis. And I have Sean here on the rhythm guitar, going to play a few songs. And thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, good to see you, Sean. Good to see you, Renee. How's the new office coming together, Renee?
You know, it's getting good. It's been painted last week. We're bringing stuff in. I have my desk. It's starting to look pretty good.
That's awesome. Right on. Okay, and now we have another guest here, all the way beside me, 20 feet to my right, Angel Fisher.
Hi, everyone. I'm in the office tonight, and I'm the Director of Coastal Conservation for BC Métis Federation, and I'm happy to be here this evening.
Great. And great to have you on the show tonight, Angel. We look forward to hearing your updates later. And all the way from another province, who's that special guest?
Me, the one and only.
I didn't recognize you with that long hair, my friend.
Well, it's like Samson from the Bible. It's my strength, eh? I get stronger the longer my hair gets.
Yeah, I know. We were just thinking of a song for you before you came on.
But I hope it's not Ape Man.
Okay, enough of that. Well, JJ, we think you look very healthy with lots of hair, and it looks like you're growing your Christmas your hair still or whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah, growing it out, man.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's good. How's Saskatoon been treating you?
Awesome, really good. Yeah, settling in. We're in a brand new house here. I'm in a house too, Joe. So you're not alone, buddy. And just want to wish everybody out there a brand new Happy New Year. Happy 2023.
Awesome. Well, we're going to quickly have you and Renee. I'm not sure. I guess we should have sorted that out. Should we go elders first for the first fiddle tune of the show? How should we do this today, you guys?
Yeah, I think you should start off with the experience there.
Oh,
We'll go with that. Ready tonight.
All right, Renee, what are you going to play for us? You and Sean, what do you got on the queue first?
I found a CD here from Eric Hashdown, and he's got some beautiful tunes on there. Excellent fiddle player. And I learned a couple here, so I'm just going to try them and see how it ends up.
job, Renee and Sean. Don't drop anything there, Renee. Don't drop anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. What was the name of the song again?
Dallas two-step.
Oh, nice. Great. Well, I just want to let you guys know we have a lot of followers on tonight. I want to say hi to Gary Pelche from Saskatchewan. Verna Lavallee, is that Holmes? Is that a relation to you there, JJ?
That's my mom. Hello,
Oh,
Mom.
Okay. All right. You got a lot of family watching, keeping the stats positive. And then I want to say hi to Don Woodcock from the United States. He's always following along. So good to see you. Jeannie's on the line. And then yeah, many others. Oh, Cindy's on tonight. So anyways, quite a few other people. Billy White from West Bank, BC. So we have Saskatchewan, the States. Apparently we've got some Manitoba. So there you go. I guess we have lots of family and friends following along. So JJ, we had a nice song from our Vice President Renee Therian. What are you going to play for us for first song?
Just an old time waltz. That's it. Just a nice old time waltz.
Sounds good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Great job, Renee. Yeah,
Very good.
excellent waltz. Nice way to start, slow and easy, because I know you'll pick it up at the next.
That's right. Slow and steady, man.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, JJ. Beautiful song. Obviously, really happy to have you on the show again tonight, joining us, and we'll
Awesome
try.
to be back.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, we're just teasing you about the hair. It makes you look young, buddy. I can't grow mine that long. It just the white shows in when you get above 50. The longer it goes, the more white shows.
Well, no, that's what happens if I don't shave, man. If I don't shave, it's just white in here.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you're rocking it, and that's awesome. Okay, couple quick things. So, I'm not sure. We'll just do some quick. We got 3 major segments that I want to talk about, and then we'll obviously bring in music in between. But I hope folks have had a chance to see. We've been really updating our Michif Monday piece on our Facebook page. We continue to use the French dialect, the Michif, and I know, Renee, this is really important to the work you're doing with Jeannie and the team. I want to share one of the examples of the video pieces we've been doing to help people learn. I think it's a great piece for the organization, and it's another way for people to hear the language and learn. And we've shown these the last few shows. So just let me take a second and share this with everyone online. So Renee, we're trying to give these little teasers out there to our Facebook following. Bon après-midi, my boy. What does that mean?
Bon après-midi, my boy. Is it good afternoon, my boy? But it should be mon gars. If you want to put my boy in Michif there, it's bon après-midi, mon gars.
Well, there you go. There you have it, right from the Michif speaker himself. And I just hope we certainly are getting a lot of engagement from our Facebook following on there. So certainly great to see. And thank you for the work you guys, Renee, are doing. And I also want to just quickly show, I know we've shown on the last few shows, but we've now got these great curriculum books. You know, I love them. We've shared these in the last few shows, and I kind of got a chuckle because I know our illustrator, many people will know, Erlene, of course, from up in Hudson Hope. She's done a lot of the illustrations, and I kind of got a kick out of it because some of it, there's one of Betty in here that's, of course, now I can't find it. But there's different characters in here, and it's quite, well, oh, geez, of course, now I can't find the page. Jeannie, I see you're online. Help me. Which page is it again? I thought I'd be clever and show it, but I just love the work that you're doing, like Renee and everyone, you know, our contributors, Renee in here and that. And it's really, it's for the K-12, and anyone that really wants to learn can go right online and see these documents that are done well. But I just think they're an amazing toolkit. And of course, the way to actually say everything, the audio files are all sitting there. And of course, I'll have to find it after. I just think that the caricature of Betty is like spot on. It looks exactly like her to me, to be honest. So I'm sure Jeannie's watching. She might help me out here. I don't see it on here, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you for the work you're doing on Michif language. Renee, what's your next steps on Michif language? I know you guys have lots of things you're working on. Some quick insights on what you're doing next.
Well, right now we're working on to finish it, and Jeannie's working hard at it.
Yeah.
And I think we got till March, I think, to complete it. And now we're going to I'd have to ask Jeannie again, because we meet pretty well every second day.
Perfect. Well, you guys keep working at it, Renee, and we'll come back to you and ask you some other questions. I do want to share, though, one of the things that's come up for our members, just remember, folks, that we've been continuing to work on the legal declaration and the work with our Section 35 efforts for Métis and BC. We are facing, a challenge. And October 15th, I just want to update our members that are watching online tonight. We continue to prepare to advance a legal case. At the AGM on October 15th, the board of members voted in favor of starting a lawsuit against the federal government of Canada. The purpose of this lawsuit is for the BCMF to secure a legal declaration from the court that states BCMF is a representative body of Section 35 Métis people situated throughout BC. The lawsuit will also seek a legal declaration that states the federal government has infringed on our members' rights to freedom of association as guaranteed under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So many of you have heard this. I don't want to get too much into this, but we are now putting out documents and a survey. I would ask for members to contribute to that information. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. They're certainly trying to force our members to just join MNBC, the Métis Nation BC, which is fine. They've got the organization, but our people shouldn't have to just join another organization to get representation or access to some of those programs. That's just not right. And we all know that we've been dealing with this and we've been making tons of progress, but we feel that enough's enough. We've waited long enough for some of the other departments to address, for example, Métis Nation BC passed a policy this year. I won't get too much into the politics, but this last year, and the only way you can get access to their employment and training or education support is if you become an MNBC citizenship card holder. We have people that are never going to do that, and you shouldn't force people to leave one organization to join another just to get those kind of public services. So we really feel that, we've been saying this to you online and at our AGM that we're going to tackle this issue. And we just are signaling to our members now that we are advancing a little more aggressively in this way. Now, having said that, we are putting out some documents. I shared with an FAQ, just a short piece now on we have surveyed members, and so far what we're seeing, 71% of our members have experienced discrimination. Like at a time of reconciliation, at a time of when we hear the Canadian public and here in British Columbia talk about reconciliation with Indigenous people, that needs to include Métis people, first of all, and it needs to include all Métis people, not just those that are politically affiliated with one organization or another. It should be true of the MNBC peoples. It should be true of the Federation people. It should be true of if you're a local community member. all of our Métis people should have that support of and should not feel discrimination. So we've been dealing with this. We're continuing to assess it. We're continuing to survey our members with it. We have now created a link now on our site. What we're trying to do is have members feel comfortable sharing their stories in confidence. It's a confidential process. We're wrapping it up into the legal case that we've been shaping for some time now. The link is www.bcmétis.com/MétisNBC. Now the lead for our staff is Drake Henry, d.henry@bcmétis.com. And so I would just ask people to get involved in the survey. I know some of you tonight won't understand what this is all about, but, we continue to hear things like, it says here, how has the federal department told you that your BCMF membership is insufficient proof of Métis identity? That's not up to them to decide. We have our clearly defined Métis objectively verifiable process. We stand behind it, and we give some examples of this in here. My point is, we as a leadership group have decided that we will continue to advance a legal claim. We hope you'll join. We hope you do a survey, and of course, our team's monitoring this each day. Not necessarily a tremendously positive topic to deal with. But the truth is, we know this is important to members because we don't want to have to go join other organizations just to prove your Métis. We know that our cards are strong enough, and we know that we continue to advance on so many other files. I would say to people following tonight, it's like we're dealing with a schizophrenic government. On one hand, they work with us on consultation, they work with us in funding us on certain programs, and on the other, their departments, their line departments like Service Canada and others say, well, you have to belong to MNBC. So it's really, we're trying to get to a place where enough's enough. We need to deal with this, and we've got the resources to do it. So that's what we're doing. So we hope you join us. Get involved, share your story if you feel comfortable. We do have a lead staff. We do want people. So I will reintroduce this conversation a number of times over the next few coffee talk shows just to make sure people are aware. The survey itself, if I can just demonstrate the survey, we've made a simple online tool. It's confidential. Obviously, if you go to the bcmétis.com/MétisNBC, the survey just takes a few minutes. And really, it's really, again, outlining what we're doing here and why. So, you can answer just generic stuff. And we just want to know which organization you're a partner community of. Have you ever been told by? So we're continuing to assess. Have you continued to be told that your membership in us isn't appropriate for Métis identification? So, and if you answer yes, tell us a little bit about it. You don't have to be super detailed. And it goes on and on. And so the survey is only like really a 10 to 15 minute survey. We've paid particular focus to the skills employment and training program because that's where we're getting the most negative feedback from our members, and we're hearing a lot of frustration on that program particularly. And so we've added that into the survey. So it's an online tool. It's meant to give us the information. It'll just take minutes. And we hope you'll join us, and we hope you help provide that information about this discrimination challenge. It's something we just can't ignore. So we hope you understand, and we hope you support the process we're trying to do to provide good governance for our members. Now, that was a heavy conversation, and one that, it's not necessarily a lot of great fun stuff. But why don't we cut back to some culture? We'll come back to Joe next on the some of the work they did this week with the data sovereignty item. But before we do that, so Renee, or actually we'll go JJ this time. JJ, okay. We'll go JJ first. What are you going to play first, JJ?
How about Joy de Quebec?
Oh.
Sounds good.
1, 2.
Great job there, JJ. How do you say it? Joy de Quebec?
Joys, it's called Joys of Quebec.
Joys of Quebec. Well, there you go. That's awesome.
How would you say that in Michif, Rene?
I don't know, joy of Quebec. La joyeuse québécoise.
Ah, Joyeux Quebec. All right.
That's great. Well, Renee, now you and Sean are up. You're gonna have to see if we can meet or beat that. What's going on? What's happening on your end?
I'm going to play another tune from Eric Ashdown.
Great job, Renee and Sean. Another great job. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, and in the meantime, thank you for your patience. I had to go back and look through all, there's so much in material, but I have to say, does that not really look like Betty Fisher? Oh, wait, oh, where am I here?
Right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
oh, it does.
Is that not a spitting image of Betty Fisher on that?
Yep, yep, it does, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Nice
like,
picture.
I'm pretty impressed. I think Erlene, our graphic designer's done a great job. Now let's see who can guess this character.
Ken Fisher.
Ken Fisher.
If that's not a spitting image of that man, he lives on in our Michif language books. So Erlene, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I just love the books, and I don't know. I'm trying to think if this is supposed to be me or not. I'm not sure. Only Erlene, because she's pretty clever in everything she does, but she's got some interesting. I'm not sure if this is supposed to meant to be a mock-up of. I better maybe I'll do it on the next one, because I'm trying now to think who she's making these images after. But there's a few in here. I'm like, I think is that me or no? I'm not sure. Oh well, you know what? It's this one here. I think she might be trying to mock me, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it looks like our president.
Well, anyways, whatever. Erlene will keep us guessing, and she'll let me know at some point who she was trying to depict on all this. I saw a few of Joe in there, but I won't show them. All right. Anyways, love it. And yeah, that picture of Ken really was, when these documents were printed up, just brought so many memories back to me. I know, Ken's not with us anymore, but it's great to see him live on in the imagery of Michif language. I mean, he was such a proud Métis person. All right, Joe, I want to cut to you now. You were doing some important work this week, yourself and a couple of our team members. Why don't you let everyone know where you were at this week? I know it's been on our Facebook, but just give people some insight into some of the things that you were doing this week.
You bet, Keith. We were invited, the BCMF was invited to the National Gathering on Unmarked Burials, Indigenous Data Sovereignty and Community Control over Information and Knowledge. I know it's a mouthful, but it was a really amazing meeting. It was downtown at the Wall Center, the Sheraton Wall Center in Vancouver, and BC Métis was certainly represented. Karen Andrews was there, and she was involved in speaking, sharing her truth. Vanessa Prescott was there as well, and I had the opportunity to promote to provide welcome comments at this meeting on behalf of the Federation. Back to Vanessa, I was very impressed as well by, in terms of youth, her ability to share, and she made a real impact on the group. So that was so nice to see. And it was a great event, Keith. And I just wanted to say that BC Métis was well represented in that meeting. This meeting here was about 3 days, and it was interesting because as we went along in the meeting, we started to hear ideas about access and ownership of knowledge, who controls the data, those kinds of technical conversations. But at the core, it had the idea of who has the right to author a history. And as you know, at the BC Métis Federation, we've been talking about the idea that there's more than one origin story, rather than one origin story that emanates from or to and from the Red River Valley. And we have a focus on Métis in the Pacific Northwest, that there's many ways of being Métis. So it was a great opportunity to open up that kind of conversation. I had the opportunity to share on the opening night there was a room full of, there was chiefs, there was family members, there was Métis represented, there was survivors represented, there was Métis and First Nations represented in terms of families. It was a large gathering, so it was an honor to share on that evening. A little bit of what we shared about. I talked about how the Métis, the ignorance of the Métis experience in residential schools, it's reflected in the general misunderstanding of Métis peoples in the entire Pacific Northwest. And a little bit about that, how Métis people were invisible, and there are stories that have been shut out of schools, institutions, and if it was talked about, it was mostly related to a prairie Métis people. And I shared about how there's little scholarship or writing on Métis, and there really has been few stories. And maybe in a bit, I could just share, Keith, about how some of the work that we're doing through various projects to remedy that.
Perfect. Before you go on though, how many people, this was a major, it was on the national media. I'm sure some people saw it that are watching online tonight. It was in Vancouver here. How many people were there? How would you guess?
At any given time, there was probably 250 to 300 people in the room.
And the Indigenous representation were from across Canada, or where were they from?
Yeah, there's lots of people from various parts of Canada, because I was talking to some people, they were from the prairie provinces, right across Canada, really, so.
Well, we were happy at the Federation because I think we were the only British Columbia Métis representation there, I believe.
And that's what it appeared, certainly in terms of involvement on panels or opening comments.
Yeah, and there's two issues here for everyone watching tonight. We were there talking, and I appreciate you said that, because it is about helping Canadians and other Indigenous people recognize that Métis people also had a residential school experience, and some of the burial sites may actually have Métis family buried there as well. We don't know, and the records are so poor, it's going to be challenging to deal with that. And I think that's one of the conversations we've been trying to bring up. And the other side is, having the youth participate on that piece, and all around data sovereignty, like who should own that kind of research? Well, we feel that the Federation, we should. I just want to, for those that don't know, Karen Andrews she's been on the show before. She's involved with our team. She is a residential school survivor, and we did think it was appropriate to have her there. I'm going to show just a short clip of some of her speaking and some of Vanessa speaking. Just bear with me. I'm going to just show this just briefly and then we'll come back to Joe.
You're in the presence of Aboriginal people. A good example this morning was coming down in the elevator on the 10th floor, and coming down, it stopped at every floor. And the group in the elevator, it holds about 19, and there's 15 of us. And every time it stopped on the floor, they said, come on in, come on in. We've got room for you. They didn't want to leave anybody behind. I am so proud of being Aboriginal. I am Métis. I acknowledge the traditional unceded territory of the First Nations where I am today and where I currently live in Prince George. I also acknowledge the kinship of the Métis people. We all have a story. This is just mine. And if we get to meet and really have time, we'd like to hear more. My name is Karen Evans. I am Métis and attended residential school in the early 60s at the Anglican Residence Bumpus Hall in Fort Simpson and in Northwest Territories, ages 7 to 9. My dad worked as a radio operator in Far North, and he loved to move every time, a couple years, to a new station. He had itchy feet. When I was 7, we moved to Fort Wrigley in the Northwest Territories with a population at the airport of 8. There were 4 in our family. Mom wasn't very educated herself, and trying to teach my older brother and myself correspondence, it didn't work so good for either one of us.
I'll just stop there. I mean, I just wanted to share that that link is available on our newsletter, and I'll bring you back to that shortly. Before I come back to Joe, I also just wanted to quickly touch on the other speech that was made there, and we saw that with Vanessa, and Joe talked about Vanessa, and I just thought I'd share a short clip from that as well.
I am 5 years old. My dad is working in my grandmother's garden. He receives a phone call and collapses onto his knees in the soil. Puts his arms up to the sky and begs for it not to be true. She's gone, he says. Your sister is gone. What do you mean gone, I ask. She's gone, he cries. It's okay, Dad, I say. She's not gone. I do not understand death. It's not okay, he yells. She's gone. My sister was murdered at 6 months pregnant. It took me 22 years to talk to my dad about it. I didn't want to re-traumatize him. I asked if he would come to the Stolen Sisters March with me. He said, I didn't realize it affected you so much, my girl. It affects me too. When we got to the march, a woman smudged us with buffalo sage. The moment the smoke entered our lungs, we both became immediately undone. I wasn't expecting to unravel so quickly, but that's the power of our traditional medicines. Communities.
I'll stop there. Obviously, it's a very emotional sharing by Vanessa, and I just want our members to know that we were adamant of having representation there, and I just want to thank Joe and Karen and Vanessa and the team that was there to help bring identity to what Métis also see as it relates to the ongoing, as we turn on the news across the country right now. I mean, just yesterday there was another major additional fine with Williams Lake, and it's on the news quite regularly. So, Joe, I'll come back to you before, and then I would just prompt Renee and JJ to get ready. In terms of how do you think the ongoing reception will be and continue to be in forums like that with other First Nations, Métis, government partners sitting there? Do you feel it's making any headway in terms of acknowledgement of Métis in the British Columbia as it relates to historical also impacts?
Thanks, Keith. I feel that there's, because of the work we're doing and work that other people are doing in the Pacific Northwest, it's become more evident than ever that there's so much history that needs to be uncovered and understood on the lived experiences of Métis right across the whole of the Pacific Northwest. There's networks of people talking about this thing. Our initial research at the BC Métis Federation shows that Métis attended most residential schools in British Columbia in significant numbers. And we garnered that through our research as we went along. As you're aware, Keith, and some of the other folks, we started this process in 2018 You know, we talked to the province, we had some initial funds to do a bit of a knowledge partnership project, and the initial indication was that, yeah, Métis people were in the Northwest, and there was a history and memory, and we need to, we recommended at the time that we need to start to pay more attention to what this is, and we also started to move toward putting together a community-based approach to understand this history better. And that's what I'm proud of, because we started to see real benefits by going out into the communities and reaching out to our members in our communities and partnering with people in the communities that have an affinity for local knowledge. We started to ask questions like, look, how do we ensure local knowledge is valued in and through the research process? How can each project advance Métis local self-determination? Well, Keith, we were hearing these very kind of themes at the conference when they talk about knowledge and data sovereignty. It's not about how others can do our research for us or benefit from our research, but rather it's about how our communities can participate in the research right from the beginning. And this is a focus point that's dear to the hearts of many First Nations as well as Métis. And it's unavoidable that Métis people are engaged in this national conversation. And it's unacceptable for one group or another to say that they're the only true Métis group, or that other Métis groups, because of their political affiliation or recognition politics with governments of all sorts, can't be involved, can't be at the table. So it's becoming clear, and to have meaningful reconciliation and healing in the truth and reconciliation, that means that all Métis in British Columbia there needs to be mechanisms for all Métis to be at the table.
Perfect. Well, I want to say thanks, Joe, for giving our members tonight an update on the gathering that happened on January 16th. You know, the information that was there. And I want to thank you for the representation you provided for our members. And of course, just, you know, talking about whether it's the residential school, historical research that needs to be done, or the whole concept of data sovereignty, right? And I want to thank Karen and Vanessa for being strong and sharing their stories and representation with BC Métis Federation. I think that's really, really critical. So I know, Joe, that your welcoming address is on the research blog. So I would encourage people that want to actually read specifically about what you said at the forum. Your address is now posted on the blog, and I hope people go either click the link through the newsletter or just look on our website to the research blog area. And I just want to say thanks for the work, Joe. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay. All right. Just want to put us back to some cultural music now. And I know that on standby is the backup bands. And I don't know. There's that long-haired guy there, and then Renee, and then Sean. So actually, Sean's got good hair, long hair too. So okay, I better be careful. JJ might get mad in here. So let's go with the elders first this time. What are you gonna play for us, Renee?
I'm going to play, it's called Eric's Two-Step. That's from the CD from Eric Ashdown.
Perfect.
Try it. Forgot it.
Just about at it.
Yeah, I'll play Crossing the Ferry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great job, Renee. Great job. And I chuckled because you said you forget it. That happens to me all the time. I start talking and I forget what the heck I was talking about to begin with, and I change subjects. There you
I
go.
just learned it a couple of days ago and then gone.
Well, I've been there a few times this week myself. So yeah. Anyways, good job. All right, JJ, you're on deck here. What are you gonna do with us?
All right, well, I'm gonna play it safe so I don't forget. So I'm gonna play something I know here. And I'm gonna play Red Wing. I think I know that. Because I've been there, Rennie. I do that all the time. The worst is when there's a bunch of 100 people in the audience and then you mess up on stage. That's the worst part. So
Yeah.
happens all the time. All right, here's Red Wing for you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right on.
Uh-oh. You got no volume.
That was great. That was great,
There you
JJ.
go.
Sorry. There we go. See there, I forgot again. There you go.
Thanks. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, JJ. Okay, I'm going to take us to our last segment of the show before we come back for our final two songs from our groups with JJ and Renee. But I want to switch gears now. And I've got Angel on the show. We heard her prior, but our coastal water protectors have been really doing a lot of work in this last little while. And this past weekend they visited Vancouver Island, and there was a lot of fun and planning. And so Angel, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so this was the first time we were able to have everybody in attendance. So it was a nice big group of 18 coastal water protectors. And generally in the past, we've always hosted our events in the Lower Mainland. And this time we thought we would change things up a bit and head out to Victoria. So we all stayed at the Magnolia Hotel in downtown Victoria, and we had wonderful time. We had a meet and greet on the Friday evening because we have two new coastal water protectors joining us, both from the Lower Mainland to the group. And then on Saturday, we spent the morning and early afternoon going through our plans and goals and objectives for the next fiscal year. And then we finished off that day with a really great workshop with Louise Lambert from Wine Country Studios. And she kind of led the whole team through a guided meditative paint your spirit animal workshop. So we all had some art in the afternoon, and then we spent the evening with a really nice dinner with everyone.
So we got to ask, Angel, what was your spirit animal?
Mine was a black rabbit.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we so Louise basically, she took us through a guided, we had to close our eyes and she led us through this meditative coastal BC scene of us canoeing, and then we pulled off into the forest, and we were supposed to meet our spirit animal at the end. So we had a whole range of, mine was a rabbit. We had a lot of eagles. We had some wolves, butterflies, all kinds of interesting animals up here.
Nice, nice. Well, I mean, obviously you guys are, and you're brainstorming, you're planning for the upcoming year. We know there's a lot of activities with the coastal conservation work you guys are doing. You want to share some insights, some thoughts about what does the group really want to do? I mean, we should back up a step. I know you said a lot of the coastal water protectors are mostly from the Lower Mainland, I believe you mentioned. How can others get involved with this work you guys are doing?
Yeah, so there's 18 of us, and 10 of us about are from the Lower Mainland, and then we have the remaining 8 from Vancouver Island. So we would like to, in the next fiscal year, add 1 to 2 new coastal water protectors. It would be really great to get someone from the Northwest area to join us around to kind of represent and educate us on the Prince Rupert area. So definitely really looking forward to adding somebody from that area, hopefully, and possibly one more from the Vancouver Island area, just to kind of give the team a bit more of a balance between the 2 regions.
And so the people that don't know, that are maybe watching for the first time, what does this what are we doing with this coastal conservation work that you guys are doing?
So the next fiscal year, our focus is really going to be about going out to all of the different areas along Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland, as well as Northwest BC, and meeting with our BC Métis Federation members and those that are residing in those communities, and really getting an understanding of their connection to the ocean, their connection to the aquatic habitats, activities that they're doing along the water, along the coast, lakes, rivers. What are their concerns? What would they like addressed from the team? And we've done a bit of that in this fiscal year. We went out to, I think, about 10 different cities in the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island, and had some kind of more personal one-on-one informational sessions with the members. And it was just as much of a learning experience for me as it was for them, kind of sharing our knowledge and information. And that's really the direction we want to take in the next fiscal year as well, and continue on with our beach cleanups. We had a really great response with that over the summer months, so definitely amping up that and doing probably in the summer months, we'd like to try to do 1 per week, now that we have so many team members that are able to kind of take a lead in their own respective areas that they're in.
Yeah, I know we've shared that on here before, but the beach cleanup certainly got a lot of I guess the best word for it, but it certainly got a lot of excitement and a lot of support. So I was really impressed with our Federation members and the community of Métis people that we have. Or so many volunteers go out in that. So you do plan on doing more of those in this new year, obviously.
Yes, definitely a lot more starting up probably towards the end of March and going into spring. We kind of want to start doing that, as well as getting the Coastal Pups team. We want to start that the beginning of March as well, and kind of get them involved in a more kid-friendly and more kid-friendly approach to that.
Yeah, I know we had you on the show a few months ago and you talked about the Coastal Pups. I was going to ask you about that. So just so people watching for their kids, for Coastal Pups, that'll come out in a newsletter. Where should people start looking for that information?
Yeah, so we had it in our last month's newsletter. It's not in this current newsletter, but it's going to go out again in the next one, as well as another notice out to all our members in the Lower Mainland area. So the pilot project for that's kind of just going to start in the Lower Mainland and see the kind of response that we get, the interest, and go from there, and hopefully be able to expand as well to the Vancouver Island and Northwest coastal area.
Perfect. Any last thoughts you want to share about the work you're doing with the coastal conservation?
Yeah, just a few updates. February is going to be a really big month for the team. So I did just make a few notes of some things that I wanted to share, that it's going to be quite a filled month for the team. We're going to be having some coastal water protectors that are youth and fit into the youth and young professional category attending the Impact 5 convention taking place at the Vancouver Convention Center. That's the 5th International Marine Protected Areas Congress, and they're expecting to get between 3,000 to 4,000 in attendance. So it's going to be a really massive convention to attend. And I just got word yesterday that one of our youth was invited to sit on a lightning panelist at this convention. And the theme of that is the voice of young professionals, advancing 30 by 30 and protecting boundaries beyond national jurisdiction. And then we're also going to have several of our team members attending the Oceans Protection Plan Dialogue Forum taking place in Vancouver as well on February 22nd and 23rd.
Nice. So lots coming up. So,
Yeah.
So I just want to so we now know you're on Instagram with the Coastal program. You guys have an email distribution list that complements our overall distribution list.
Yeah.
People just need to reach out. What's your email, Angel, again?
Yeah, it's a.fisher@bcmétis.com.
So a.fisher@bcmétis.com. So if you got any questions about coastal conservation or want to get involved in some of the great activities, they certainly have a lot of fun. I was jealous. I was like missing out. I see Earl and a couple of our board members and some of the family and friends. And I'm like, oh man, maybe I should become a coastal conservationist here. I got to get involved. Anyways, but keep up the great work, Angel. Thank you for the update for the members. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. We're going to wind the show up pretty quick here. I just want a couple other quick items, and I want to just queue up JJ and Renee. We're going to come back to you guys with some closing songs here and then some closing commentary. I just want to let our members know we will be releasing our strategic plan. We work on a fiscal year April 1st till March 31st. We are just wrapping up this current year in March, as most of you will understand that are our members. We've committed to a series of plans and tactics and things we invest in, and that's how we do some of the things we're talking about today. We just had a planning meeting with our team in Vancouver this last week, and we had it on Facebook. So hopefully you saw, we will have the updated action plan for April 1st out. The board will be meeting in February, and we'll sort of hopefully get approvals on things, and then we'll release it what we intend is the first or second week in March, and it'll really to help partners and members and everyone that's working with us understand what our priorities are in the areas of a lot of areas. And specifically, just so everyone continues to understand, it's specifically to do a series of things that we call them key performance indicators. If we're going to invest a certain amount of money, we want to make sure that's being invested in a way that actually supports what members want us to support. So some of you might recall in the last show, I did speak about our key performance indicators as it relates to, we have a 3-year strategic plan, and we're now going into the last year of that strategic plan. And these are the things we're working on, right? And we just internally, we manage progress on all these measures, right? So for example, career services, you can see on the slide, 91%, we are going to assist 100 Métis people in finding employment. Well, I can tell you, now that we're into January, into February, we've exceeded that target. We know that. And so there's things. Procurement program generate 400,000 procurement contributions. Those are so important because that's the money we reinvest for community capacity investments we've done across the province, cultural programming. We had to generate, our goal was 400,000. We've greatly exceeded that this year. So that's why we continue to implement certain tactics. And, and there's a number of things in here, health and wellness, Coast Guard, the very things that Angel talked about, industry engagement. I won't go through all this other than to say the action plan updates these and actually brings, and it does require investment. So our board will be asked to take a look at what we're proposing for the new year as management, and my job as president is to bring these forward in a coherent business plan way. So I just want people to know that we maintain our commitments to culture and community this year. We have a very aggressive plan. Renee is our vice president. We'll be leaning on him heavily. We fully intend to see summer cultural events come back in a very big way this summer. And I know that Renee will be working on stuff. And if you want to hear a bit more about what we're doing, we have announced that we will be doing some community visits. And I think some of you may have heard me speak about it at the last meeting. And all I can say is that, we continue to put dates together. We are planning to be out in the very, very, very near future. These are tentative, so please don't hold us to this yet. We're still working our way with our partner communities. Old Fort, it says here in February, that's now been pushed to March. We'll be at Surrey on March 5th. That one is confirmed. We'll be up in Terrace on March 18th. Thompson, Okanagan, we're working right now to finalize some dates on March 31st. Prince George, Kelowna, the Island Métis. So Renee is working with us, and through these meetings, these are more information sessions, a much more comprehensive view of what the organization's doing, and just to make sure members are informed and engaged. So please watch on our website, on our distribution list, on Facebook. You'll see these things come up. Okay, lots of content, lots of information. I just want to finish up with some great fiddle music now. So I'm not sure. Should we? I've been going back and forth. Looks like Renee's got the bow up first. I don't know, Renee. Does that mean the elders want to go first?
I can, yeah.
All right, you're up. Thanks, Renee. What song was that again?
It's called Royal Princess Two-Step.
Royal Princess Two-Step. I think that was Joe's favorite. Well, thank you, Renee and Sean, again for Renee with your Machif inputs, and of course,
Oh, you're welcome.
Vice President of Culture Work. And thanks, Sean. You're very helpful, although you're always off to the side on the screen. I feel like we only see 2% of you. So there you go.
I sneak in.
Yeah, you sneak in. All right, JJ, what are you going to play for us? What's your final song for tonight?
Well, I think we have a Quebec team tonight. We did Joy de Quebec. Now we're going to do Quebec Real.
All right.
Or for all my Quebecois friends out there, it's Quebec.
Quebec.
I was corrected. It's not Quebec, it's Quebec.
Quebec.
So here's the Quebec Real.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good
Well,
player.
That's some pretty fancy fiddling over there from
Oh, yeah.
Saskatchewan,
Nice
JJ.
one. Nice.
Well, JJ,
That's that prairie blood flowing through me, buddy.
yeah, must be some good bannock over there with you. Lots of energy. Well, JJ, thanks again for tonight. Wonderful to see you. So happy, and who knows what the hair will look like next month? Well, we're not sure, but if it keeps
Never know.
growing, it's going to be very.
I might even get a haircut. I already got a real job, so now we
Yeah.
gotta get that rock
Well-
song, Bill. get a haircut, interview.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah, no, awesome job. But thanks, JJ, for joining with us. We do need to sign off very quickly. Joe, any final words from you before we sign off this evening?
No, I'm just proud of everything that's happening at the BC Métis Federation, and we're making great progress, and I'm encouraged with the being as part of a team with the community researchers. I'm very proud of them and their activities and what they're doing to open up Métis history and memory in the province of British Columbia. And we have a great team, and we're looking forward to an exciting year.
Perfect. And Joe, how do people get a hold of you? You know, you're still doing the data research. You're still, if people have any questions from tonight, what's your email?
My email is j.desjarlais, DESJARLAIS @bcmétis.com. You can send me an email, and then we can chat, and then I can put you in. There's also, if you go to the website, you'll notice that there's the local researchers on the website, and then you can look for each local researcher and send them an email too. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Joe. And I hope people feel, you know, they want to talk to you about the data sovereignty presentation. We saw you, you know, your opening comments are on the blog and so forth. So I want to say thank you, and I hope people reach out to you. Angel, any final comments from you?
Just thank you for having me on here. And I would just like to encourage everyone that's interested in coastal conservation to sign up for our distribution list as well as our Instagram page. We have posts on there pretty much every day.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks again, Renee and JJ. And again, my name is Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. I want to say thank you for joining us for this monthly show. We'll see you in February. Watch for those community meeting dates. We want, you know, we encourage all Métis to come on out. You know, I continue to encourage people to become members of the organization. Membership is very appreciated by those that follow us. And watch for our action plan / business plan that'll be coming out in the next few weeks. So have a great night, everyone. It's been a great evening speaking and playing music for all of you, and I hope you enjoy the show. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody. See you next month.
Oh, that was good.